Welcome to the podcast that talks about everything and nothing. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Use the Escape podcast. I have with me again my partner in crime, Tyler.
Hello.
And we are here today not to talk to you about video games, but to talk about something that we love equally as much as video games, toys.
Because, that's what grown men do. They like their toys.
Considering I'm almost 30, and you're just past 21.
Yeah. 22. Next year, nobody will like me.
I see what you did. Dude, you have no idea. I know we're talking about toys, but when I turned 23, that was just the song I had on repeat. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about a Blink-182 song. But no, anyway, so toys, Tyler. And then he dies. Then that's it. No. So toys. What would you say? Because you and I are, we're a few years apart from each other. I was born 91. You were born 96. 97. 96, 97. So I kind of grew up with the 90s era of toys, and you grew up with like the late end of that kind of stuff. So I was around during the whole weird, hey, Turtles was a thing, so let's try to make that strike twice. Like, SWAT Cats. I mean, don't get me wrong, these are good shows, but you have like SWAT Cats, you had Extreme Dinosaurs, Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, just things like that.
And a ridiculous name with an animal attached to it.
Basically. Also it was during the Golden Age too, because then you got things like the animated Spider-Man, the Batman animated series, X-Men the animated series. I like how all of them had to be called animated series.
Yeah, they couldn't just call them just that. They had to have that tagline at the end.
Mm-hmm. But so, and like of course like things like Power Rangers, Big Bad Beetleborgs and things like that.
Yeah.
I like how we're supposed to talk about toys. We're just talking about TV, but it's gonna segue, because I can remember because I watched some old home movies. My parents were very much against me watching Power Rangers. Very much against, like, he can't watch it. But in the video of my 3rd birthday, there is a distinct... I see that my parents got me a Green Ranger birthday cake.
Yeah.
And I had the toys and things like that. And so I'm just like... And they're like, he can have the toys, but he can't watch the TV series. And I'm just like, yeah, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have no,
knowledge of what the characters even are, but they look cool, so it's like...
Right. Like, I can remember because it's in the videos too. I remember that I got the Power Rangers playset, like the big with Zordon and things like that. I had that, and dude, that was like fucking at that time, that was like the biggest playset I ever had at that time. Dude, that was badass, because like, it came on the top of like the tower. It had a microphone on it attached to it, so you would talk into it and it would distort your voice.
Oh, to sound like Zordon.
So air quotes, you would sound like Zordon. And like you could turn, it had like a nozzle at the top of it as well, so you could turn like the head. So like turn like the head of Zordon, so like it could be very faded or very visible or whatever.
Yeah. So
you just be like, I am Zordon, go Rangers. Things like that.
It's like the Power Rangers theme song in Zordon's voice.
But and like, oh my god, like that was like, for my childhood, that was like the big thing I carried around with me until I found out about Street Sharks, and then that was the big thing I carried around. Like, I took one of the Street Sharks. He had the one with rollerblades. I can't remember his name. But he had. I distinctly remember him. I distinctly remember what this one looked like. It was based off a tiger shark, and his roller skates had like big wheels on them, like they could go through like dirt roads, and it was kind of like that kind of like dirt road type of like wheel. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for mountain bikes or BMX. Well, not motocross, things like that. It had that, and like I distinctly remember having that because I remember I had to go get one of my teeth pulled from not a dentist, actually a friend of my parents who was an oral surgeon. He pulled out one of my teeth. I can't remember why they took me there, but for whatever reason. Oh, I remember because my sister pushed me over and I smacked my tooth and I smacked my teeth and it was like bleeding everywhere. So my parents wanted to make sure that she didn't damage anything like really bad.
Yeah.
So I had to get something. I had to get a tooth pulled because what they found out that I actually had 3 teeth in my mouth.
How?
Well, not like nothing like pushed.
So
nothing
that were implanted.
There was 3 teeth. There were 3 teeth in there because what I mean by that is like there was a tooth that was visible, and then there is the adult tooth. You know, because like once you're born, you're technically born with the adult teeth.
Up here
already there, and they just just grow in. But then there was another tooth that was blocking the adult tooth.
Oh.
So my adult tooth could not grow because of it. So that's how they found out. So, but I remember taking this guy with me to get my tooth pulled. But what was what were you like with you? Because remember, like growing up, what was the toy that was like just your thing?
See, whenever I started getting into like Turtles and Power Rangers, it was more the early 2000s because I was born in '97. So by the time I was able to even like comprehend those things was about when I was like 3-4 years old, maybe about 5 years old. And what was around at the time, Power Ranger wise, was Time Force. That was the first one I was exposed to. So one of the coolest. It's the only playset I've ever really had. Like I had a lot of figures from different things, but I've never had the playsets. The only one I've ever had was the Time Force playset. It came with the villain Rancic, and it came with like a little pod that you put your Ranger in, and you would like crank it up, and it would like you would crank the doors. The doors would fly. There were supposed to be like big metal doors, and they would like slide open, and then you shoot them out.
Okay.
I always thought that was super cool. And then I was hand-me-down to the Mighty Morphin Rangers from a kid that grew out of it. My sister used to take dance classes, and the kid knew that I liked Power Rangers because I had my Time Force figures. So he brought me this big bag full of all the first 6 original Ranger figures. He gave me all of those, plus a Red Ranger costume.
Okay.
So it was really cool. And then my mom ended up finding me these VHS tapes of the original Rangers. They were like throwback ones that they would sell at Toys R Us, and they were like specific to each character. Like they had one for the White Ranger, one for
when they had like on the cover of each one, it was like the villain of whatever,
right, of whatever episode of
whatever episode of the Ranger. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, they came with like 1 or 2 episodes each or something like that. Yeah, I had a couple of those, so that's how I really got exposed to the Rangers. I watched that. I watched Time Force on TV.
Okay,
and then of course like Lightspeed Rescue. I got videos of. I had in Power Rangers in Space. I had the Turbo movie.
I was gonna say basically all the ones that you didn't grow up with versus me, which is Mighty Morphin, Ninja. We don't talk about Ninja. No, Alien
Rangers. Yeah.
And Sentai they're about the Ninja, but Alien Ranger. We don't talk about Alien Ranger. Turbo. No, well Zeo, then Turbo.
Yeah, Zeo, then Turbo.
Then Space. And then
Lost Galaxy. And then
Lightspeed Rescue was then.
Yeah, Lightspeed Rescue and then Time Force.
Yeah.
But
we just talk about Power.
As for Turtles, my big exposure to Turtles was the 2000s.
I was gonna say
era that was on 4Kids or Fox. Well, it was Fox Box at the time.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say if to be fair though, as much as I grew up with, I didn't grow up with the original ones because that was more in the 80s and things like that. But I distinctly remember renting the crap out of VHS tapes, watching this stuff. 'Cause I don't know what it was, but something drew me to it. It was just like, this looks so cool. I don't know why. It's like same thing with He-Man. Like I watched the crap out of He-Man tapes, and like I would go to like the video store that was near my parents' house growing up, and they would have like He-Man and things like that, and I just watched that. And of course, like we know when I see things like He-Man Speed Racer was another. That was like
Yeah.
even an older one because that's when my brother and sister watched. Because how they would have, this was genius. I don't know why my dad never did this with us, but when they were on a car trip, and they couldn't really understand like time was not really a good thing that they could understand. You know, like how long will something take? Because you know, if we're driving somewhere and you're like, how long is it going to take? And I tell you, oh, it's going to take an hour and whatever. You know how long that is.
Yeah.
You understand it. Well, I guess they didn't get that, or you know, whatever. So how my dad would explain time to them would be, it's like, how long is it going to take? And he would go, it's going to take about 15 Speed Racer episodes.
Jeez.
Now, it sounds insane and crazy, but if you actually break it down, and each Speed Racer episode actually is only 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So if you do the math of 30 and 15, it tells you how long.
Yeah.
How long they'd actually be in the car.
That's still a long car ride.
Yeah, but that'd be from Ohio to New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like, no, it wouldn't just be in the state of, like, you know, that'd be going out of state.
Okay. Like if you're going on a vacation.
Yeah.
Driving to it.
So, but like growing up with those things. But yeah, I was like I said, to be fair though, the 2000 Turtles, that was a good show.
It was really good up until the point where it was near the end, and then they started getting kind of weird with it.
Well, I agree, they did weird when they went to space, but
yeah, I mean it's kind of what happens in the comics.
Yeah, it really is. So they actually followed the comics more than the original show did.
But then they had like the whole Ninja Turtles fast forward and all that stuff. It was a series that came after it where it had
like in cyberspace.
Yeah, kind of thing. It was just weird, and they had like weird costumes, like different like armor sets and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically just to sell toys. The reason they did it.
Oh god, I can't. What the weird thing is, it won Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then TMNT, 2000, then A New Mutation was the one after that. Then that was like when they were against Spice. After that was Cyberspace. I can honestly say the only thing out of Turtles that I did not like was New Mutation.
Yeah.
For one reason and one reason only, and it's not because that there is a female turtle. Cool, awesome, on board with that. It's the fact that the entire series, they're all like, we're not related.
Yeah.
Because we want to fuck you.
Yeah. It's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
Like, you know, like constantly they'd just be like, I'm your sister, and they'd be like, we're not brothers.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when they established.
That is like the one thing that they always go back to. We're brothers. We stick together. It was like they're. And then just because a chick gets thrown into the mix, oh no, we're not. No, we're not related. No.
We can fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, granted, we don't know what turtle incest would be like.
Yeah.
But still, fucking weird. But oh my god. But let's fast forward now as adults, because collecting toys for us now is very different from what it was.
It's so much better. Honestly, so much better.
I've always said this, and I've kind of changed it a little bit, but I've stated that growing up in the 90s, they tried to make anything and everything a fucking toy.
Yeah.
And then 2000s, they tried to make anything and everything a TV series.
Yeah, that is true.
So, like, there were some weird toys that I remember having as a child versus having an adult. Like, things that I wish I could have, like, I could get now as an adult.
Yeah, there's, like, especially with, like, even video game-related toys. Like,
yes.
There were little to none, at least whenever I was a kid. And now you have literally Mario and Zelda stuff just plastered everywhere.
Mega Man, if you're alive.
Yeah, and it's like every time, even like when I'm with my mom at the store and stuff like that, she's like, "Where was this stuff when you were a kid? It was so hard to buy stuff for you because you wanted Mario stuff and they just didn't have it, and now it's everywhere."
Right.
Which there has been Mario toys like since he's been around. Like there has been. It's just very scarce. They were very scarce for a long time.
I mean, during the high point of Mario, then there was like a lot of toys and things like that. But of course, at that time, we weren't around yet.
Yeah.
So like we didn't get the whole. I'm still mad that I've never got to try the Super Nintendo cereal.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm
Nintendo cereal
so
system.
mad about that.
But
for those of you who didn't know about that, yeah, Nintendo was so much of a juggernaut that they had a cereal. That was it was technically two cereals in one. That was one half Mario, one half Zelda.
Yep.
And I'm so mad that, and like all the things that like, I mean, granted, I'm so glad I can say I finally got to try Ecto Cooler.
Yeah. I was really surprised that it came back for unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, we won't go into detail. But I will say that I'm very glad Ectopillar came back. And because what I've been told by a lot of people who actually grew up with it, they're like, "Oh my god, they didn't change anything.
That's good.
This is exactly what it tasted like back then." Oh, dude, I was so much involved. I was so addicted to that I bought in so many.
Yeah, I still have cases sealed that I never opened because whenever we got it, I work at a grocery store, so whenever we got it in, I bought almost all we had.
Dude, I wish I would have. I wish I would have still did that because I could probably sold them now.
Yeah. Yeah, like one time I got curious because I still, like I said, I still have a whole case that's still in the shrink wrap and everything.
Oh, you literally
like an actual case.
You just bought. Oh, okay. You didn't buy
not a pack, like a case. It was like 6 packs to a case. So like 6 of the juice box packets to a case. So it was like in a 12 by, or no, it was probably like a 16 by 11 box, like big box.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about now. I don't know. I never just bought that when I was.
Yeah, it was like $20-some for it.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
But I was curious, so I looked it up one time. The last time I checked, it was like $80 for one of those. I was like, hey. But I remember for whenever that came back, it was like super hard to find. Like at first, the only place you could get it was at the movie theater.
Yeah.
And every time I would go, they would have an ad for it, like on the concession stand. And every time I'd ask, they wouldn't have it.
Right.
And then we eventually started getting it at grocery stores. So I was super excited about it.
But you never could get the cans at grocery stores.
Yeah.
You only got the juice boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for the reason that was it. But
and who knows? It could come back because there's another Ghostbusters movie coming out next year.
That's true.
So
then the shit you have is completely worthless until it gets continued again.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude! Like the toys that I have now, some of the stuff that I collect now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because of I've looked because we have friends who have toy shops and the toy business and things like that. Being in a toy group together.
Yeah.
We see some weird fucking toys though.
Yeah.
Even today.
Yeah, that is true. But I think depending on what it is, like quality wise, things have gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything, because there's still some kids' toys where they just do not care whatsoever. But like everything that I think of, at least for like collecting as an adult now, you get toys like the Marvel Legends and the Star Wars Black Series and stuff like that, where they're like pretty well detailed action figures that you can actually pose around, so you can actually like whenever. I'm an out-of-box collector, so I always like to display them like fighting each other. So you can like recreate your own scenes of your favorite characters fighting each other, and you can actually make it look like they're doing something and not just standing there with their arm sticking up in the air with a sword in it. Like you can actually like bend their arms so they're deflecting whatever other swords coming at them. Like if you have Vader versus Luke, you can actually make it look like they're fighting each other. It's
right.
Really neat that we're able to do that kind of stuff now, because back then it just was not.
like I was a wrestling kid growing up. Like I loved watching wrestling, and of course the toys.
Yeah,
I love the toys, and like some of those things like were very limited on what they could do. Like I remember to me it was like a big deal when the wrestler character not just like reach his arm out. Just his arm, like where your elbow is, that part could actually come in.
Yeah, you can actually bend the elbows.
Like bend the elbows and just things like not move that. And not how it is now, where like the whole fucking thing is so articulated.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where the fingers can move and stuff like that. But just that notion of just being like going from like clothesline to like hook punch or elbow the guy in the face. It's just like take that, and just crazy shit and like oh my god, like that was insane. But I really wish I would have taken better care of the toys I had than I do now.
Yeah. I still have almost all the toys that I've had since I was a kid. They're just all in a box, like in a big Tupperware container.
I can't say the same for me. My parents were very much, you're too old for this. Like, you're too old for this. We need to get rid of this. Thankfully, I will say this, though. I never found out that they sold my stuff through a garage sale or things like that. They never made money off of my memories. I can say that. They did something that, in my opinion, is a lot better. They took it to Goodwill and had somebody else have it.
Yeah.
So regardless if a scalper came and got it because they saw what it was, or if some little kid who actually did want it got it and got to have like a fun time with it, then cool, whatever. But
yeah.
I'm more hoping it's that than a scalper coming to get it and making money off of it.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm cool. That's how my parents very much were. They're like, because I remember like I've always suggested to have a garage sale before every reason. My parents were just like never did it. They weren't against garage sales. They just never wanted to do a garage sale. You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, by helping, I've helped some people with garage sales like you have. They're a lot of fucking work. People don't think about that, but that's actually a lot of work.
Trying to set everything up, and then once you're done, having to put it all back, and then waking up the next morning to put it all back out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you have to be there. Like whatever amount of time they ask you to be there, you're there.
Mm.
And it's like, and people of course always come in and try to lowball or whatever. Because it doesn't matter what it is, regardless of retail stores, like an actual business, or just running a garage sale. You're always running into assholes.
Yeah. Try to lowball you to get it for nothing so they can go and resell it themselves.
Right. Man, but what is the craziest toy you've ever found at a garage sale? At a garage sale, we can talk about flea markets here in a minute, but what is the craziest thing you found at a garage sale?
At a garage sale? Oh man, I think the craziest thing I ever found at a garage sale. I think I remember scoring a bunch of Pokemon toys as a kid, and it was at the peak for me whenever I was like, thought that was the only thing I was into was Pokemon, because I would have phases. Like I liked a lot of things, but I would have phases where I only liked that one thing for a while, and then I would move on to the next thing. And at the time, it was just Pokemon. That was it. Like I had the cards, the tapes, and then at this yard sale, I remember scoring a bunch of the little tiny Pokemon figurines, which now a lot of those just singularly go for like $20 a piece if they're the official ones. It's absolutely crazy, but I think that's one of the coolest finds I've had, just because I know Pokemon's one of those things where it's always going to be super popular and it kind of holds its value. Like if you look at it today, even like the oldest games still hold their like retail value almost.
Right.
So it's like I thought that was a really cool find for me.
I like how you say that you go through phases, and I'm talking to you as you're wearing a Pokemon shirt.
Yeah.
you're like, I go through phases. I don't have a problem with it now.
Yeah. Well, no, I think now I'm more well-rounded, where I like all the stuff that I've always liked. But as a kid, it was very much phases, because I would be super, like I said, it would be one thing and one thing only, and I would be super into that, only that, for
I get it.
a month or two, and then I would just completely drop it and move on to the next thing.
No, yeah,
then I would go back and forth. Like 1 month it'll be Star Wars, and I'm really super into that, and then it'll just drop that, and it'll move back to Pokemon, and then I'll drop that and go back to like Army Men or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time I had a phase where I really liked Army Men and stuff like that, and I would buy the pound bags of Army Men and have like huge battles out in my backyard, stuff like that. But yeah, I think those Pokemon toys were probably the best one for me.
Oh, good. I can't really think of any time ever really scoring like anything, because at the times I did garage sales versus do anything versus a kid versus an adult is a very different experience.
Yeah.
But I can say the coolest thing that ever happened at a garage sale was I found like this Mario toy. It was like it was one of those like parachute men where if you threw it up, it'd come back down.
I think that was from a Wendy's. I think it was a Wendy's toy.
Yeah,
like the parachute was a mushroom.
Yeah, some of that. So I remember I found it and I was just playing with it like so much. And I was just like, and I'm like, I want this. It wasn't with my mom. It was with like a babysitter or something like that. And and then she's like, okay, we got it ready to go. And I'm like, okay, that means I have to put it back now.
Yeah.
And the ladies who just ran it was like, hey, you can have that if you want. And I'm just like, really? They go, yeah, if you really like it that much, please go ahead and have it. And I'm like, telling that to like a kid, telling that to like a 4-year-old, it's like the greatest thing in the goddamn world.
Right, yeah.
Because it's like, it's a toy that, let's be honest, I probably played it with for like an hour at most when I actually went home, and then probably never touched it ever again after that. Yeah. But it was still cool because I didn't pay a damn dime for it.
Yeah.
So it was like, yes. But now I oh my god. But now I just thought about this because I remember I've had a really bad experience at a flea market, not a flea market, at a garage sale with toy related, right?
Yeah.
So like back when I first joined the group, the toy group that we're in,
Yeah.
way before I even introduced you about it, one of the guys in there was talking about, hey, this neighborhood I live in, it's a neighborhood garage sale, like this whole like area of houses, like it's kind of like a weird like horseshoe, like the shape of the whole thing was a horseshoe, but there were like roads in between each one.
Yeah.
So like the whole outer thing would just go like around like this, and then you could exit it.
Yeah.
But then there were houses within that, so there was like garage sales happening all around in that one section, right? So we went to this one guy's house, the guy who was like a part of it. We're like looking all around, and it's like, my God, he has so much cool stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm looking around, and I found a Proto Man mug, which I still have.
Nice. Yeah.
That Proto Man mug, I think I mentioned you. Doesn't do anything special. It's just Proto Man on a mug. It's also his color of red. And I'm like, okay, so I know I want this. And I'm looking around and whatever. And I go, I wonder if I'm thinking, because they had a bunch of Transformers and things like that. And as I'm about to fucking like go, how much is this? Like, how much is this? Like, I said that to the guy, how much is this figure? He tells me something that no one wants to hear because it makes you so fucking mad. Oh, I'm sorry. None of that is for sale because somebody literally just bought it all.
Why? I hate that. Yeah, because for one, well, the main thing is like if it's not for sale, why is it out here? Like, just pull it to the side. If someone has bought the entire thing.
No, like it literally just happened. Literally just happened. It wasn't like it was out in display, and I asked this like this literally like a second before I asked it happened. Like this shit went down, and so like literally like all like any form of toy is gone. And here's the thing that makes me really mad about the situation: not the fact that this person like just dropped fucking whatever amount of money on all this stuff. It's that immediately I find out that this lady has a fucking toy shop, has a store, and all this shit is going to that. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That sucks. Yeah.
Like, I get it. Fine, whatever. Do whatever the fuck you want. But don't do that type of shit if you're just open.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if, I want to see if I can make some money off this stuff. If none of that kind of stuff sells, give me your name, your number. I will contact you, and we can make it and we can work on it. Like that's what you should do. Just be like, hey, I'll contact you if ever doesn't sell and see if you would want that stuff. Don't just be like, oh my God, money. Yes, I'll take it now.
Yeah.
Because other people would want it. Like, how do you know that I didn't need that to complete a collection?
Right. Yeah. Well, because where my mind was going, I can't tell you how many times I've gone up at a flea market or at a yard sale or something, and there'd be like a pile of games or a pile of toys and asking a price, and they're like, oh, I already sold that earlier today. I'm just like, well, why is it still sitting out here?
I've had
you
that
sold
happen.
that
I've had that happen.
Just pull it out because someone else is obviously going to ask about it. I'm sure I wasn't the first person to ask.
Right.
It's like,
well, clearly you weren't because somebody bought it.
Yeah.
But no, that's annoying. But I think the worst thing that is more annoying than anything, and out of all places, this should never happen in a flea. This should not happen in a flea market ever. My friends and I, we were really heavily into buying like the DC figures at that time, like the Batmans and like the Green Lanterns and things like that. Like when they really saw like the different like colors of the spectrum of lanterns like during that time, I was buying those things left and right, whatever. And my one friend was buying all types of different Batmans, and so we were like all invested in that kind of stuff. And that was also during the time when like I was trying to like really get like the year. That was like when the Arkham toys came out.
Okay.
The Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City at that point just came out. Night didn't come out yet. But so this like we go in the back of this one booth and like, oh my God, look at all this stuff. It was displayed like some guys like swinging and whatever. Like it was displayed like a bunch of stuff. And so we go and ask, how much are some of like these figures in the back? And the lady who's running the booth goes, oh, that's the owner's stuff. That's his personal collection. And I'm like,
of course.
Why the fuck is it here then?
Yeah.
Like, if that's
take it home.
Do you not have a house, an apartment? Do you live here?
Yeah.
Am I in your living room? Like, what? Why? Like, it made no sense to me.
Yeah, that's. I see that a lot at shops too. Which at shops, I guess it's a little different because sometimes the shop owners are collectors too, so they like to show off some of their stuff. But at some places I've seen, they'll have like cabinets full of like really cool stuff, and it's just out in the store, and you like happen to ask about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's not for sale. That's my personal collection." I'm like, wouldn't it be? I mean, I guess you can't just do whatever you want with a shop. It's sometimes how it's set up. You can't really help, but like, wouldn't you want that kind of like off to the side and be like, "Hey, look, that's my personal collection over there. Isn't that pretty cool?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that is cool." But when you have it like just in smack dab in the middle of the store, and you're like, "Oh wait, that's my personal collection. I'm not selling that." It's like, don't have it out in the middle then. Like, take it like have it on display because obviously you want to show it off, but like don't put it somewhere where most people are probably gonna take the hint that, oh, this stuff is part of the store that's for sale.
Right. Or just, I mean, this isn't me being an asshole. This is just nitpicking because our friend Adam, who had, that stuff. I walked into his place and he had a Shogun Godzilla, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want that. And he goes, oh dude, no, it's mine. Yeah. And I'm like, God damn it.
Well, see, most of his stuff is behind his counter though. Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
That is
if it's behind the counter. Most of the time,
it's either his personal stuff or
the higher end
expensive stuff that he does. He doesn't want your nasty fucking hands all over it, things like that. Which, makes sense. Speaking of Shogun Godzilla, dude, I don't want to drop his name, but there's a guy in the group who, and I'm not saying I don't want to drop his name because I don't like him. I just don't want to, I don't want people to like go and start bombarding him for shit. But oh my god. He has 7 Shogun Godzillas.
7?
Yes.
What does he need with 7?
Dude, he wants 12.
Why?
That's what I want to know.
For what reason?
And I called him out. I'm like, I can't find 1, and you have 7. Send some loves this way.
Yeah. Give me 1.
Like what? Like literally, all I want is 1. I want 1. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't need to be minty. I just want 1.
Well, because doesn't the Shogun Godzilla, doesn't his hand?
His fist pops out, and the tongue will, his tongue will shoot out for the time of breath, and he has wheels so you can roll it on his feet. Like, oh my god, it makes me so mad that this person probably has 8 or 9 at this point, but I'm just like, look over that my shitty kaiju collection.
Yeah,
I want a Shogun in there.
That would be sweet,
right? I have way too many Funkos though.
Yeah, that's. Speaking of Funkos, that's like one thing I think that's gotten a lot of people that normally wouldn't collect toys to actually get into toy collecting. I think it's a good, almost like a gateway drug for toys. Because people who don't collect toys, I know a lot of people who have no interest in toys whatsoever collect Funko Pops. It's still technically toy collecting, because even though they're, I guess, like miniatures, statue thing, they're technically figurines. Like, they're still toys.
I mean, for the price you're paying, but it's like some of the detail that goes into like some of that stuff.
Maybe not the head sculpts as much, but like all the body sculpts. Because for a while, Funko Pops were mainly all the same.
Yeah.
Like all the same molds, but then they started doing other molds and different sculpts and stuff.
For example, for Sam, it's not the traditional.
Right.
It's not the traditional eyes. It actually has because he has the
button eyes.
The button eyes, or
even ones that actually have face details, like Pennywise, the clown, or
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla or
Cthulhu.
Yeah, the Cthulhu one with all the tentacles on his.
Also, if you can't see it, because it's up and above. But Snow Miser actually has icicles hanging off his nose.
Yeah.
So in some cases, some of the detail really really goes into some of the character and some of the characters and stuff like that. But then you kind of get the standard of them all. Right.
Yeah. Even though I have a couple of them, all the Batmans, they all look the same practically.
I don't know if I have actually. I don't know if I have a Batman.
You have the Rainbow Batmans.
Okay, I do the Batmans. Yeah, all of them. Those are just interchangeable, honestly.
Right.
But
yeah, I think that's kind of neat because it's kind of making toy collecting kind of norm.
Right.
When it really wasn't for the longest time.
But of course, some people just don't get it.
Some people still can't justify them. It's just a fun thing to do.
Well, it's not even the fact about justification. It's more along the lines some people just don't get the fad of Funko Pops. I've been told by somebody's parent that Funko Pops are gonna die like Beanie Babies did. That it's a fad, and it's just gonna burn out, and all those things that are worth so much money to you, that what you claim are worth so much money, it's gonna be worthless, and you're gonna be stuck with just plastic. And I'm just kind of like, dude, I don't know why you hate these things so much. I don't understand the hate for them. But if that's the case, then fine. It's the case. If one day Funko just ceased to exist off the planet of the Earth, and all those things that I've spent so much money towards, whatever, and they just seem to just just go down the tube, fine. It's what it is. It happens. But I don't get the hate for things like that. Like
because I remember us having a conversation about it before. It's not like the characters that they make out of Funko Pops never lose their value.
No.
Like, there's a lot of popular characters that people are still always going to be collecting for that Funko has a license to. So as long as there's interest in that character or series, there's probably going to be interest in the Funko Pops they make for it.
I think, honestly, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that Funko does not have a license to make characters is Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah. Besides Pokemon now, but as far as...
Well, technically Pokemon is produced by Nintendo.
Yeah.
They were made by somebody else,
right,
technically.
Yeah. But, because the same could kind of be said about comic books, which kind of sounds sacrilegious, but it's at the same time, that's what a lot of people thought. Everybody thought comic books were worthless. So like, oh, you think these things are worth money? Well, what happens when it's not going to be popular anymore? You're just stuck with a bunch of paper, and it's worthless. And it's like, well, it's not, because those characters and those stories hold value to people, like for however many years, almost 100 years of comic books.
Right. I went through the majority of my comics and categorized all of them, and I found out actually some of the things in my personal collection are actually worth money.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God damn, why? Yeah. Why is these and I'm not hating on it, but I'm just like, why specifically this issue? Like, why?
Yeah.
It's insane how much. It's insane what people will think when we worth so much money versus what's not. Like, remember when Bitcoin was like the thing? I don't know if it still is, but my God.
Yeah, that was like...
If you even had a Bitcoin, you were like a billionaire.
Yeah.
Which would piss me off, because technically, I don't know if it could ever I don't know how you convert Bitcoin to actual money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you have to just... I think there's a website for it where you convert it and then it goes into your account. Something like that.
I did. Yeah, no, I honestly thought about becoming a Bitcoin person for a little bit. And then, because I did research into it, and I'm just like, no, too much work.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It's not worth it.
Nope. But just even some toys nowadays are even worth so much goddamn money. And I don't even mean some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Like obviously the old stuff that people just pine over want so bad.
Yeah.
That's gonna be worth the money. Like the stuff original Star Wars figures.
Right.
They're from the
70s. Yeah.
Like if those things are unpacked, those things in packaging are into the thousands.
Yeah. And G.I. Joes and different stuff like that.
Original G.I. Not the miniatures.
Right. The big 12-inch dolls. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what else? Things like that. Those things will never lose value because they mean so much to so many people.
Yeah.
Because it's harder and harder because they're not making them anymore. So it's hard. So if you find one of those things, it's a big fucking deal.
Right. Yeah. And even there's a lot of newer stuff that's getting really sought after. Like how I mentioned before with Marvel Legends. There's certain ones of those figures that even on release day, they start becoming hard to get already, because I think it just boils down to when they first come out, they probably don't have a lot when they first come out, but then throughout the year, more stores get more of them, because there's certain waves that I remember trying to collect for, and you could not find them anywhere besides internet, and a couple months later they'd be absolutely everywhere and you couldn't get rid of them. So it's just kind of a waiting game with Marvel Legends, but certain ones for the whole span of time that they're out, they're just worth a bunch of money.
So, or the Build-A-Figures.
Yeah, the Build-A-Figures.
Certain pieces to a Build-A-Figure could be worth hundreds.
Yeah, just because of the figure it comes with is already sought after, so that makes the piece sought after because you have to buy that figure to get that piece with it. But that's a lot of the reason why the Build-A-Figures are so expensive because you have to buy every figure to put it all together.
Which, oh my god, it made me so mad when people would buy them and then take the figure out and then put them back. Take the Build-A-Piece out.
The piece out, yeah.
It's like, just take the whole damn thing at that point,
right?
Asshole.
Or just sell the figure off and keep the piece, so at least you would get your money back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but I don't know. I remember I tried to. Like, I don't remember why I bought a bunch of them, but I had a few things. I never had a full Build-A-Figure set. Never. I still don't have one. But I've come to the conclusion that if I were to get one, of course, out of all of them, I picked the hardest one to fucking try to get, Galactus.
Yeah, the Galactus Build-A-Figure. Build-A-Figures back in the Toy Biz days of Marvel Legends were insane because they were huge. They were like...
Dude, I've seen a complete Fang Foam.
Yeah.
I've seen what that thing is, and that thing is fucking big.
Yeah, it's insane. And now they're decent Build-A-Figures, but they're not nearly as big. Like,
the Venom one that came out
recently. The Monster Venom one. Yeah, that one is really cool. A couple of them that I've built are about the same size. Like, I have the Juggernaut.
Yeah,
that was a Build-A-Figure, and then the Rhino was another one, which he's really cool. And one of the more recent ones that's out right now is Kingpin. They have a Kingpin Build-A-Figure.
Oh, okay.
That's really neat.
And they did do a King Shark one recently.
Yeah, for DC. Yeah, they did do that.
I don't know why. I'm just kind of obsessed now with King Shark. I've heard that Michael Rooker might play him in a new movie. To our friend, immediately responded was, Michael, don't do this. Don't be typecast for people with fins.
Oh, yeah, Yondu. That's funny.
I think it's funnier that in the first Guardians movie, his mohawk was very, like, down, and the second one was like, nah, man, let's big mohawk.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't that just Yondu, though? His giant fucking mohawk?
Yeah, Yondu's supposed to have that, yeah.
Is that technically, what is that? I've always wanted to know, is that technically hair?
I don't think so. I've never really, I don't know. I don't really know enough about Yondu.
Right. Oh my! Like, there's so many characters. Like, there's so many characters that I try to find out about. Like Fire. There's a reason I got into Firestorm because I found out some things. Or same thing with Plastic Man. Because you actually look into their character, it's like, oh my god, there's actually so much. And speaking of those characters, like some of the toys that they got were fucking ridiculous, dude. I just remember. Oh my god! I remember when the Fantastic Four movie came out. And they were giving like, everyone like certain toys, like certain things, and like fucking Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Like on one hand was like for the movie, one hand was like a saw, and one hand was a giant fist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is completely unnecessary. Just give us a stretch. Why did they never just make a Stretch Armstrong Reed?
Yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Why didn't they do that?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Or why didn't they just make a Human Torch where you just dip them in gasoline and light them on fire? And then, why didn't they?
No, they did that. Make that. It's called We're Kind of Fucked Up Kids.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on. Now, yeah, you brought that up. Now we gotta talk about. Come on, how often did you destroy a toy? Be honest.
I never did. Actually.
You never destroyed a toy?
No.
So you were one of the few kids that weren't fucking assholes.
Yeah, like I didn't want to break any of my stuff. I would get super upset whenever if something of mine broke on accident. Like, I would always play with my Star Wars toys. I would get super, super sad whenever a lightsaber would break or something, because you can't replace that. You have to buy a whole nother Luke Skywalker. And most of the time, you couldn't go to the store and get a Luke Skywalker because they'd all be gone. You would just be stuck there with a bunch of, like, I don't know, fucking Emperor Palpatines and shit. It's just like, I don't want that. I want my Luke Skywalker so I can get my lightsaber back.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were, like, super fragile, especially the ones that they made. They had certain ones where you could take the lightsaber blade out.
Yeah.
So you could have just the hilt, and they would have, like, a little plug where you could put it on them and stuff.
I remember
those were my absolute favorite. I thought that was the coolest thing that you could do that. But they broke so easily, so it kind of sucked.
I remember those, but, like, yeah. But, no, I was one of those kids. Granted, I'm going to make this clear. I only did this to, like, one, like, Happy Meal toys, like, shit or something like that. And two, if I already had it. I never just do this to random toys as far as I knew. I did fuck up a few of them, but that was mostly with marker and things like that.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever set a toy on fire was like McDonald's toys. Like I distinctly remember lighting the boyfriend in Lilo and Stitch. Like,
oh yeah.
The one guy that wanted to do the boyfriend, I had two of him, and I just set him on fire. Which, to be fair, don't do that. Like, I want to make it very clear that just because I say I did it, don't do it. Because I was dumb then. I'm just dumb now. I was dumber then. But because you don't think of like the repercussions of that shit.
Yeah.
Because you have a lighter in one hand, you have your mom's fucking hairspray in the other. God forbid any flame goes in the can, the fucking face going to explode as your hand fucking holding it.
Yeah.
And guess what? You don't have a hand now. God, I was a dumb kid. I was a dumb kid. Granted, I'm a dumb adult too.
Same.
According to people in my oh my god. So I don't know if your mom or your family member gives you any shit like this as an adult now, but they see you come home with mountains of shit, and they're just like, don't you ever want to move out? Like, did they ever give you that spiel or?
I mean, it kind of happened a little bit, and now my mom, she kind of doesn't want me to leave, because sometimes I'll talk about moving out, and she's like, no, you don't leave. You don't have any reason to leave. Just stay here a while longer. I'm just like, but before you wanted me to move out, now you want me to stay.
Like, oh my god, no. My parents would constantly give me this spiel that, because I'd always be like, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And my parents would always be like, when you have your own job and you're making your own money, you can buy your own things. And of course, then I have my own job and I'm just coming home with games, movies, things from conventions and things like that. And I remember my mom got on me for that. She goes, don't you want to move out of this house eventually? You just keep coming home and buying more crap. And I said, you said, when I get older and I make my own money, I can buy whatever I want. I can buy any crap that I want with my money. Don't say that to your parents. This is the one part of the podcast I was saying that this is like the life experience. Don't fucking say the shit your parents said to you back to them. She was so mad. Visibly, she was just like, I'm just like, oh fuck. And a month later, I did move out. Because I was planning on moving out. Like, I had everything set up for me to move out already in January, because I wanted to move out the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And then that's what I told the landlord. She goes, when would be the soonest? I go, I just want to let me finish living at home until the end of the month, and then I'll start. Starting 2016, I would move in, which I did.
Yeah.
Granted, though, the apartment's all set up and ready for me. I could have they had to clean up they had to do a little bit of maintenance with it, but she contacted me during that time when I told my mom that I got moved in whenever, but I was like, no, I'll stay.
Yeah.
But no, dude, oh my god, my parents, they made it very clear. It's like, it's not like they didn't want me in the house, but it was very clear. It's like, dude, it's your time to go out into the world.
Yeah.
So the fact that your mom's very much like, no, don't leave. I'm like, part of me would beg to have that now. I'd be like, you guys don't want, you don't have to make me leave. My parents are like, nah, get the fuck out.
Yeah. I don't know why that is. She's just kind of indifferent about it, because she always told me, whenever she's like, if it wasn't for me getting married and having kids and stuff, she's like, I probably would have still been living with my mom. She's like, I never wanted to leave home. I'm just like, I can see that, like, I can understand that, because like,
you don't pay for anything.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for anything, and like, you can still like help each other out. Just like, hey, I need this from the store, get that. I mean, it's basically like having roommates. You just do whatever for each other, because like, I'll buy some groceries for her, and she'll like, I do all the cleaning and stuff at the house and everything like that. So it's like a trade off. I get to live there for no rent, but then I have to do stuff for them. So just to not even pay them back, because they don't want me to pay anything. It's just earn your keep kind of thing.
Right.
Cleaning around the house and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, my parents, they were, because like I would kind of. There were it's the type of parents where it's like, you live under our roof, so you still have to follow our rules.
Yeah.
Type of shit. So it would be very much like, I'd come home at 5 a.m. or something like that, and they'd be like, you're not supposed to, you can't stay out that late. And I'd just be like, but I'm 20. I'm like, I'm 22.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You live in our house, you follow our rules. And I'm like, no, it does matter, because I'm 22 years old.
Yeah.
Because the first question, before they tell you, like, you can't be like, where were you? And of course, when you're me and you're a loser and you don't really do much, and you tell them, well, I was at Freedom Games playing board games all night, they give you they immediately look at you. It's like, You're honestly gonna tell me that you were playing board games until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I really was.
Some board games are extremely long.
Well, no, it's not even that, so yeah, in some cases, yeah, or like you start super late.
Yeah, or if you're playing like a D&D campaign.
Yeah,
just keep going and
there
going
were just,
and going.
yeah, there were just some things, and it's just like, it's like, you get that parent look of, you might be telling the truth, but you might not be. I don't know. I can't really call you out. I don't know how to call you out on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm telling you the truth that that's what I was doing. Like, do you want me to take a video next time? I'll take a video. I'll take a time lapse video of me leaving here, playing there, and coming home and things like that. It was insane. Oh my god! I remember I did that one time when I was still working at Acme before you came in there.
Yeah.
And that was like that day was like almost the worst, not the worst day of my life, but it was a bad day because after that I heard when I got home I heard air leaving my tire, so I'm like, I'll work in the morning, because I'm like, I'm tired, I need to get some sleep to work.
Yeah.
Because I didn't work till like 4, so I was closing that night, so it didn't matter. So I went to sleep and I came outside and I go, all right, so I replaced, I don't know if I replaced it. I don't know. I might have replaced the tire, right? And like called up a place like, hey, I need a new tire. Got that all situated, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll just drive it over, get the new tire, and then drive to work from there. Well, my mom goes, well, did you fill? I thought you said you filled the tire up with air. I go, no, I did. Yeah. I replaced it. I put the spare on, right, or whatever. And she's like, but no. She's like, no, you didn't because the tire's still flat. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I go and look, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Both my front tires were flat.
Oh.
Both of them.
Jeez.
So then I had to call and had to get it towed. And I'm like on a time crunch, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like I had to get this all done and just race to fucking work. I made it, thank God, but I was just like, this sucks.
Damn.
But, oh my god, I like how we have segues from toys. Toys! Dude, there are some toys that I have now in my collection that I really wish I would have known about as a child.
Yeah.
Like, I have a bunch of the Cowboys of Mesa stuff. I really wish I would have known about Cowboys of Mesa as a kid.
One of the toys, for me, I wish I would have known about as a kid, they used to have, it was like, I think it was in 99 when they came out. They had a line of Mario Kart 64 action figures that they made. They were like actual figures that could move like their arms and legs and stuff, and they came with the little cart, and they had like the items, and they were pullback racer cars and stuff, and I wanted those for the longest time. I found out about them when I was like 10 years old, right? When like I first started figuring out how eBay worked and stuff like that, so I would look constantly every day, all the time, looking for some, and they were always like over $50 a piece.
I'm about to pace you off because I actually had the Mario and the Bowser of them.
Damn. I had chances to get some. Like there was one pack that I had the chance to get, and I don't know why. I hit my aunt for Christmas. She gave me a choice of 2 different things because she was like more well off, so she gave me like one big thing for Christmas. So we were looking at stuff on eBay because she knew that's where I always got super excited about eBay. So
you still get excited.
I do get excited about eBay.
eBay is like a gateway drug for us.
But there was 2 things I was super into were those figures, and I really wanted Gremlins figures really, really badly.
Oh,
Gremlins toys. So we're looking, and I found a box that it was the Mario Kart. It was the Mario Kart figure, and it had Mario's kart, and then there was a Banjo figure, and it came with his kart from Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, you fool!
Yeah, and I was like, I really, really want that. It was sealed in the box, like perfect condition. It was like $50. And then she showed me these Gremlins figures that were made by NECA Toys. It was the first run that they had ever done for the Gremlins figures. There was Gizmo, Stripe, Brain, and just a regular Gremlin. And I had never seen those at the time, and I was like, I gotta have those, because I remember seeing the Banjo and Mario thing a couple of times before, so I'm like, oh, maybe I can get that later on. Those Gremlins figures I had never seen ever, so I was like, I really, 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 really want these. and I highly regret doing that.
I feel though that if we had this conversation, like let's say the opposite happened, right? Let's say you bought the Mario and Banjo and not the Gremlins. I feel like if we were having this conversation like
it would
now,
be the same thing.
You would still regret it regardless.
Yeah, because I think those figures, I mean, I have never looked them up, but I feel like those figures are probably worth something. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure that was the first run NECA ever did. And how NECA Toys usually works, they do one release of something, and that's it. They don't do more. Nowadays, they've gotten a bit better with it. They'll do re-releases of certain things if the demand is there. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, they put out one product, and whenever that's gone, it's done. Like they don't re-release them again.
I need to, NECA's the ones who do like the
Velcro. Yeah, they have the Velcro.
Because I might what your girlfriend tells me all the time. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
I might need to go and get the Godzilla one I saw. Honestly.
Oh yeah,
Godzilla versus King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm so mad they didn't do King Kong.
Right, I feel like they're probably going to, but they're weird because they don't do like waves of figures. They do like a couple of a series. They'll do like 2 different figures because like a lot of their stuff, the production quality is a lot higher, so it costs more to make them. So they don't do as many like at a time of the same series. They'll do one year, and then next year they'll do another one. Or
right, but oh my god. And some of their stuff is so much. It's so annoying how expensive some of their shit is. If you did not get it when it came out, then you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Like the Jason Voorhees and the Freddy Krueger from the NES games.
Yeah.
Those make me so mad every time I see them because I'm just like, I want them. I want them so bad.
Yeah, the one toy shop we were at, he had the NES Jason. It was like $80 for it.
There have been so many times I've had opportunities to get that Jason figure. So many times. For cheap. I want to make that clear. For cheap. I don't know why. I never got it. I don't know why. I hate that. I hate when I have that ability to just talk myself into not getting it.
Yeah.
And like anything else, you get buyer's remorse.
Right, yeah.
That sucks so hard. And or especially now with like finding out later something came out, like with those like minifigures that you have, a lot of them, and I didn't know until like fucking later that they made a Banjo-Kazooie one.
Oh, the Totaku figures.
Yeah, and I'm just, I want that so bad.
Part of me feels like they'll eventually do a re-release. I honestly don't know how those figures will really work, because sometimes you can kind of figure it out, like, oh, they do a re-release sometime throughout the year, they'll like redo them or something. I haven't even seen new ones come out, so because they had like 2 or 3 waves, they had different ones, and now they just kind of stopped. I don't know why that is. It's definitely not like Amiibo where they're constantly coming out throughout the year. That's another toy that was pretty crazy when they came out, were Amiibo, because most people thought they were going to be a snooze. Like nobody at the time when they were announced, like, oh, these aren't going to be worth shit. But all the Nintendo fans are like, oh no, just you wait. Like these things are going to be crazy hard to get. And of course, that's exactly what happened. Like there were a couple that you could find, like of course Mario and Link was pretty common. But
Silver Mario, Gold Mario, Wii Fit Trainer,
Marth,
Meta Knight,
Villager, Animal Crossing,
Little Mac,
Captain Falcon, all those like
Kirby,
because some of them, a lot of them they did
just right there. We just named so many that was like impossible.
Yeah,
like my Little Mac actually I have out there is actually from the first wave.
Yeah. It's weird because like a lot of them did get re-releases, but some of them they would make announcements about it too. That like were like I followed different like Twitter pages for Amiibo, and they would find out that they would stop production on certain ones. Like whenever the Mario Party ones came out for Mario Party 10, like the Silver Mario, Gold Mario, but then they had the regular Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, all of those.
Bowser.
Yeah, when those came out, they stopped producing the Smash Bros. Ones, and they were going with the Mario Party ones instead. So that's what made those get super rare, because they just completely stopped production of them.
Or just like this when Breath of the Wild came out, that just
found out that you could get the different costumes for Link.
Those made those things just any form of Zelda, Amiibo, Sheik, Ganondorf, and all the Links shot up. It didn't. And not like some of that stuff where it gradually went up. No,
it just immediately soon as Breath of the Wild came out, because I remember the 30th anniversary Zelda amiibos, they had the 8-bit Link, the Ocarina of Time, and then the 2-pack Wind Waker that came with the Toon Link and Zelda.
I'm so mad.
I had the chance to get all of those day one, and I was like, because it was at Toys R Us where they had a bunch, and at the time I was like, well, a lot of the time they do sales on these because they don't sell. I was like, oh, I'll wait until they do like a buy one get one sale, and then I'll pick them all up. And that was like a month or two before Breath of the Wild came out, because Switch launched in March. So it was like, yeah, like right after Christmas into January. I'm like, oh, well, tax season's coming up. They'll probably be clearancing stuff out, trying to get rid of stuff. So I'll just wait. And then Breath of the Wild came out the day after. My buddy from work, because we both went to the launch for the Switch, and he's like, dude, have you seen that Ocarina of Time Link? And I was like, yeah, it's at Toys R Us. He's like, I can't find one anywhere. I was looking online everywhere, and they're like $90. I'm like, what do you mean? They're at Toys R Us. So as soon as I got off work, I went to Toys R Us because I was freaking out. And of course, every single thing that was Legend of Zelda related was gone.
Yep.
Every single one. And to this day, they're still that expensive because
they've gone down. No,
they've gone down a little bit.
If you can get them not boxed, if you can get them out, they're all 20. They're all standard 20.
Okay, well, because most of them they re-released, but like the Ocarina of Time one never got a re-release, and I'm sure the ones that came out at that time are more expensive because they have the stamp that says 30th anniversary Zelda, because all the reprints don't have that anymore. So I feel like the label difference probably makes the price different too, depending. But if they're out of the box, then yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. And then they did a second wave of them where they had the Twilight Princess Link, Skyward Sword, and then they did the Majora's Mask Link. And for whatever reason, they released them. And every place that I talked to different employees at all the places that they came out, like GameStop, Best Buy, they said they only got like 2, maybe 3. I'm just like, Nintendo, what are you doing? Like, I know it's artificial, what you call it, like artificial scarcity is what they're doing, because they know that they can make them, but they want to make people want them, so they only put out a couple. And it's like, you guys know you would make so much money if you would supply it. Like, the demand is there.
Which is what they finally did.
Yeah, they finally did, but only for certain ones, because like the Zelda ones, they re-released the Majora's Mask Link, and that's the only one I've ever seen that they re-released at all. Which
I still have its.
Yeah.
Not for any intention of like, ever reselling it or anything. And I'm lazy.
Yeah. See, I just like how the amiibos look on their card, because the card usually has cool artwork on it, so I just leave it. I don't open my amiibo for the most part. Whenever I do, I always just buy a double. If I can.
If you can, yeah.
Because some of the more recent amiibos are still kind of hard to get. Like, they did a Diablo 3 amiibo, the Loot Goblin, and I kind of didn't have any desire to get it, but I was just like, I'm an amiibo collector. It's an amiibo I don't have, and I saw it on eBay for like $30, and it was only 15. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'll get it. I mean, not with the intention of selling it, just the intention of, hey, I might want this later down the road, and I'm not going to be able to get it for retail, so I'm just going to get it now.
Right.
And like, one of the amiibos that's still super expensive that I don't have is the Solaire, from Dark Souls. The sun guy.
You're the one you could only get if you bought it day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, amiibos are still. People think that the amiibo craze is over. For everybody, it might be. For like the general public, the people who only want to resell them, probably, maybe, but like, they're still pretty popular, because when they come out, either you're there to get them or you don't get them, because a lot of the time there's like 1 or 2 that are still super hard to get. Like Piranha Plant is the most recent one that people are having trouble getting, is Piranha Plant from Smash Bros. So I think it's still.
I know. I need to keep paying attention. I need to keep paying attention because I need to get Simon Richter.
Yeah, I think those aren't coming out till later this summer. I think.
I know. I need to get Ripley, and Ice Climbers, and King K.
Rool. Yeah.
I need to get them. But I feel like we've rambled along a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and if you want to continue hearing our beautiful voices, check out our other show, the Toy and Video Game Hunters. We couldn't think of a better name.
Yeah.
But you can find us on there, or, find us wherever we are, wherever else we'll be, which we don't know yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right. So thank you for listening to UCSA Podcast, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Game over!